Okay, so module 1, cloud concept. How do you remove this one? So in module 1, we will learn cloud models like public, private, hybrid, and choosing the best option for you. And then we're going to discuss cloud benefits, consideration, and how do you use the cloud. No? And then we're going to discuss yung services such as IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, and yung shared responsibility model. Okay, so we have cloud models. But first, we have to discuss what is cloud computing. No? So cloud computing is delivery of computing services such as compute service, networking service, application function, storage, analytics, and service level agreement. No? So cloud computing is delivery of computing services over the internet, which enables faster innovation, faster deployment, no? Faster orchestration, using flexible resources available in Azure, and economies of scale, like the cost and how will you benefit from it. No? Um, so first, public cloud. Public cloud owned by cloud services or hosting provider, let's say Azure, owned by Microsoft, AWS, owned by Amazon, no? Alibaba, and so on. Public cloud provides resources and services to multiple organizations and users and can be accessed using your typical network, which is over the internet. Private cloud naman is an organization created a cloud environment in their own private data center. Actually, hindi naman kanilang data center. They lease the data center. No, so nire-rent nila. So yung mga server is inside the rack. Tapos yung rack na yon is inside the cage. And then yung cage na yon is inside the data center. Like in project namin, it's hosted by telco, no, and other managed service provider. Organization is responsible for operating the services. So the one handling the management of the whole IT infra is the own organization. Okay, and they do not provide access to users outside the organization. Okay, so sariling organization lang may access sa private. So hybrid is a combination of both. It combines public, private, which allows apps to run in most appropriate location. Like in different company, yung organization nila is hooked up to the cloud. So some of the apps is running on the cloud, some of the apps is running on-prem. Okay? Nandito sa kanilang data center. So most instance is like yung mga tester, quality assurance, programmer, which is outsourced sa ibang company, they usually put in a cloud. Okay, so for easier access, information which is not really sensitive, no? Hindi naman kailangan talagang i-private. No? Cloud model, so we have those three cloud model. One best thing about public is no CapEx. Okay, sa examination, question dito was how can you describe cloud, no? No capital expenditures. So meaning wala kang capital na ilalabas. OpEx ka agad, meaning operational expense. The moment you use, doon ka pa lang i-charge. And charging is after 30 days pa. Okay? So wala kang ilalabas na money. After you operate, doon pa lang siya mabayaran. Okay? In public cloud, apps can be quickly provisioned. So dito, you can easily launch a function, program that you can develop and launch right away. Sa public cloud, organization pay only for what you use. So, babayaran nyo lang kung ano ginamit nyo. In private, you have huge capital and expenditure, probably cost of millions of dollars, no? Kasi you have to purchase lahat, no? Servers, routers, switches, lease sa data centers, plus yung maintenance nila. So, when you purchase the hardware, magkaiba pa yung maintenance, no? Organization have complete control. So, one good thing about private, 100% ikaw may control nito. Okay? Another private organization are responsible for hardware maintenance. One big problem is yung repair. Now, when you organize a repair, it will take you a while. Okay, may 4-hour SLA. So you have to log ako sa Hewlett Packard, tapos tatawag yung technician, tapos you need to grant data center access plus escort, no? Hassle. Sa hybrid naman, combination of both model. Cloud benefits, identify the benefits of cloud computing such as ano ba yung high availability. What is scalability, agility, elasticity, and DR. We need to identify difference between CapEx and OpEx. Describe consumption-based model. Okay? So dito, ito yung mga cloud benefits. No? So I'm gonna switch into our handout. No? So we can see sa module 1. So let's go to module 1 here. So everything I've discussed is in the module. Okay. So once you see this QR code, it will give you a video training. Now, bibigyan ka ng video training. So let's say if you're asking what is Azure, Azure, just take a photo of the QR code. You can play the video. Okay, it will explain to you what does Azure offer. Okay, so napakaraming services ng Azure. What can I do with Azure? So Azure has more than 100 services which enable you to do everything from running your existing apps, migrating your apps, to creating a new application and launching your application. Okay, so this is very complete, very kompleto to. What is Azure Portal? So kung meron kayong cellphone right now, take a photo of this Azure. So ako, pipicturean ko siya. No? Mag-QR code scanning tayo. Scan nyo. You'll need to first sign up for an account. So if you scan the QR code, so it will take you to a video which will explain what is Azure. Okay. What is Azure Marketplace? So Azure Marketplace, andito yung mga built-in applications such as let's say Windows operating system with built-in IIS or Windows OS with built-in CRM. Okay, so ready-made apps which you can launch right away. So this is the Azure dashboard. So you can see dito tawag dito is blades. When you click the dashboard, it will take you to Marketplace. Actually, pupunta na ako sa dashboard ko. So to go inside the Azure Portal, you just need to type portal. So sabihin nyo ako .azure.com. Now, I previously logged in. Naka-log in na ako. So that's why meron akong account. So this is the blade. So if you click this one, you can see the blades. If you click the dashboard, this is my dashboard. No? And if you click all services, you'll be able to see all the services which Azure is offering. Now it's more than 100. Okay, so not all will be discussed. No? So some of the topic will be discussed sa Azure Admin AZ-104. Security topic will be discussed sa AZ-500. So right now, our course is AZ-900. Okay, 900. So what is 900? So I'm gonna give you this one. Which is a master training certification, okay, which is a roadmap on where we are. So dito tayo right now, fundamentals, okay? So Azure Fundamentals, foundational understanding of technology. So more on understanding, no, less hands-on lab. So once you pass the examination, you can pretty much move to anywhere. Actually, ako ginawa ko, hindi ako nag-funda, nag-jump agad ako sa admin kasi admin na ako. Ano? Which is kind of difficult kasi bago yung mga terminology. Okay? So if I were you, I'm gonna start with Funda. Okay? And then after Funda, next one is Azure Admin, which is 104. Okay? And then after you finish admin, I would suggest to study Azure Security. Kasi ano yan neck and neck sila eh. Kailangan, once you provision a resource, you have to make it secure. Okay, so security engineer, which is AZ 500 yata yan. Before moving sa DevOps, DevOps is advanced, more on code pipeline, continuous integration, continuous development, more on launching a resource and services using command line interface, using YAML, using PowerShell, using Cloud Shell, no? Before you can proceed to Azure Solution Architect. So ganun ang movement. Funda, admin, security, DevOps, Solution Architect. Okay? So I'm gonna give this one to you later. So balik tayo dito.
Sir, question lang po.
Go ahead.
Sir, yung mga course po ba na admin, security, saka yung DevOps, in-offer din po ng Nexus yung training?
Yeah, we have offer previously the 104 Azure admin. Pero konti kasi students eh. Gusto kasi ng trainer at least 10. So iba hindi natuloy kasi less than 5. Yung iba natuloy naman siya. No? We offer AZ 104 pero the rest wala na.
In case sir na gusto namin mag-proceed sir ng halimbawa ng security sa kanang DevOps, ano pong other option na makakuha kami ng training?
Yun nga, 104.
104.
104 okay. Muna. After this one, 104.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, balikan ko to. Saan ba ako? 1 ba to? I usually use kasi yung PowerPoint, no? Now, for some student, yun nga, as I mentioned, mas ganado sila pag may description. Ayan, so, module 1. This is module 1, okay? So, if you haven't created your account yet, you can just click the link. No? So, meron ditong portal. Sino walang account pa? Ayan, Azure Portal. No? So, just take a photo. And then this is Azure Portal. Teka, how you create account. So I'm gonna give you later how to create an account, pero that will take a while. Okay? So I'm assuming na meron na kayong account. Pero if you don't have an account yet, it's okay. Kung wala kayong account, it's okay. Kasi more on understanding the terminologies, less hands-on. Though I'm gonna give a bonus hands-on. Mag-hands-on din ako. Pero konti lang, no? Kasi dito sa examination, we need to understand like ano yung AVM, no? Ito yung function. Ano yung Kubernetes? Ito yung function. Ganun sa examination. No? Okay, so let's go back to discussion. Compute service. So compute services are often one of the primary reasons why companies move to Azure. No, try to imagine yung compute service mo is physical sa data center nyo. No, sa amin, meron kami Cisco UCS, mas meron pa kami HP Blade Center, C7000, 64 CPU. Tapos, bago mo manage yung server na yon, you need to log in sa onboard admin, no? Tapos, if you want to control, you have HP ILO, Insight Manager. Napakahirap. Gagawa pa ng service profile. Napakahirap mag-build ng physical server. So dito, we will take advantage of the compute services. So ano yung mga compute services nila? So dito, virtual machine, no? Like yung physical server ninyo. So what is Azure Virtual Machine? So virtual machine is like your physical machine which contains BIOS, memory storage, RAM storage, networking, and can be connected, no? So dito, you can provision right away the operating system. Okay? Whether Linux or Windows will be hosted in Azure Cloud. Okay, madali mag-provision. What is AVMS? Scale sets. So scaling for Windows or Linux is also hosted in Azure. Now, scale set is a big topic. I'm going to discuss later. AKS, Kubernetes Service. Kubernetes is a orchestration application which automates configuration, deployment in operating system. No? So dito, service function niya is a cluster management for VM. Buong cluster na i-manage niya, not single virtual machine, no? Which is containerized services. Now, what is container? So may big discussion ako sa container. Later on, di-discuss ko. Service name ng compute is Azure Service Fabric, distributed system platform that runs in Azure or on-prem. So multiple platform, no, different operating system, combination of platform. Remember, we have this on-prem, meron din tayong cloud, di ba? May hybrid, no? So this one can be utilized in those platforms. No? So if someone asks you, can you give me 3 or 4 compute service Azure? What are those? So ito yon. Azure Virtual Machines, Scale Sets, Kubernetes, Service Fabric. Okay? Sa examination, someone asks you, if the exam asks you, give me 4 compute services. Yan, 4. Hindi lang yan, napakadami pa. Napakadami, no? Azure Batch. Azure Batch is a managed service, which means either managed by you or managed by Azure. No? For parallel and high-performance computing applications, Azure Container Instances is another compute service, which is containerized apps, meaning in one operating system, you're going to create a function, then that function will be utilized instead of using operating system. Let's say you have a web server, you're going to be using Apache function, Apache services, okay? So containerized apps run on Azure without provisioning servers. Okay, you don't have to provision servers kasi nga container siya. Okay, so there's a big difference between container and servers. I'll give you one example. So container, you only need one operating system, and then sa container, may mga services doon. Let's say yun nga Apache, which is a web server. So meron ka na web server, you only need to copy your programs such as HTML, PHP, Java, Python, hosted in container, and will be run in a container. Hindi magra-run sa server. So server naman, you need to purchase the license of Windows operating system, $1,000. Tapos isang IIS, tapos another VM, may IIS, another VM, may IIS. So multiple operating system. Container hindi na. Okay, ito yung serverless na tinatawag. Okay? Then merong compute service, which is called Azure Function, another serverless. You don't need to provision a server. Azure Function is an event-driven. Let's say someone browsed to your internet. So that's one visitor. Another browse to your internet web server. Second visitor. Yung function na yan, bibilangin niya. How many visitor for the day? Okay? You don't need to write a program. Kasi available yung function na yan. Malinaw ba? Malinaw. Okay? So those are compute services. Okay? Malinaw na yung compute, available yan. And if you wanna check, ano ba yung, saan dito yung mga compute services, di ba? Di ba? So these are general, these are compute. Ang dami, tingnan mo yan. Virtual machine is like a computer, container instances, which is a serverless, availability sets, a combination of more than one resources acted as a conglomerate of one service. No? Meron ding Citrix virtual apps. No? You don't need to provision a send app, send desktop, and so on. Napakadaming compute resources. No? Okay, next one is networking service. So networking is a linking compute resource, yung sa taas. How do you access those services? We're going to access those services using networking. Okay, networking will provide access to application. No, apps is the key function of Azure networking. So network functionality in Azure includes range option to connect outside world. Paano tayo ko-connect dito? Paano tayo ko-connect sa VM? Yun ang tanong niya. Okay? So ito yung mga networking services niya. So first is, lakihan natin. Virtual network. Okay? Virtual network connects VM to incoming virtual private network. So if you have, let's say you're working from home, no, paano ka connect dun sa virtual machine? Di ba? Yun ang tanong. So yung VM, meron siyang assigned virtual network. So I'll show you one example. I have created a virtual machine. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you paano mag-create ng machines later. So ito yung VM ko, tawag ko my PC. Then meron ditong networking component. Okay? Sa networking component, you will be given a private IP. Okay? Dito, private 10.0.0.4. Usually, yung first 5 IP is reserved for Azure. So hindi mo pwedeng gamitin that 1, 2, 3, no? And yung last IP address, last 2 IP address. And then you will also be given a public IP. Okay, yan yung virtual network. VNet tawag natin dito. And then, bibigyan ka din ng security on how you're gonna access this one. So normally, you access the Windows operating system using port 3389 or yung RDP. Okay, so how do you connect? So you just basically just go to network component, no? Ito yung network component. And then mamaya papakita ako, gagawa ako ng from scratch paano gumawa ng VM, no? Okay, next is Azure Load Balancer. From the word itself, it balances inbound and outbound connection. Okay. Next is Azure Apps Gateway. So it optimizes app server farm delivery while increasing application security. So you're gonna hit a single URL to access your farm. Let's say user 1 will be allocated machine 1, user 2, machine 2, user 3, machine 3, and so on. VPN access Azure VNet through high performance VPN gateways. So dito sa VPN, gagamit ka na ng VPN nila, no? So meron sila sariling VPN which will give you additional charge. If you notice sa my PC ko, I didn't use VPN. So hindi na ako nag-VPN kasi RDP lang siya. Pero if you have a farm inside your organization, might as well use a VPN for security reason. So bakit ginagamit? For security reason. Meron ding Azure DNS sa networking. So DNS, as we all know, domain name system which resolve hosting to IP will provide ultra-fast DNS response and ultra-high domain availability. Meaning, pag pining ko yung, let's say, meron kayong sariling organization, no? Okay, such as, let's say, yung nga, nexus.com, no? So instead of querying through the public, you will be querying yung Azure DNS, yung private. Kasi yung private server ninyo hindi naman accessible sa public, di ba? You can only access this one using your organization network, di ba? So dito, pwede kang gumawa ng sarili mong DNS, which will resolve your organization host names such as server 1, server 2, server 3. Okay? Next is the content delivery network or ACDN. So the ACDN delivers high bandwidth content to customers globally. Okay, so let's say you're in Philippines. So saan nakalagay yung content mo, no? So for faster access of resources, might as well move your content delivery dun sa nearest region where your users are sitting. Meron din siyang networking function such as dynamic denial of service, which protects Azure hosted apps from distributed denial of service. Hindi DDoS attack. So last year na-attack yung Facebook, ano? Kasi wala silang DDoS. Meron DDoS pero na-attack pa rin, di ba? So Facebook attacked by DDoS. No? One example is yung sending of huge packet. O sabi dito, wasn't attacked, no? So they're denying. If you Google this one, so napakadaming theory na they're saying it's been attacked using DDoS, no? So what is DDoS? So normal ping will send 32 bytes only. Okay? Pero yung DDoS is sending a huge amount of packets. Okay, so anong mangyayari, di ba? If you're sending, let's say, 64 kilobytes of packet in less than 60 seconds, that will cause huge traffic. Okay? So pag nagkaroon ng maraming traffic, babagal yung Facebook nyo, which denies the services. Okay? Such as yung Facebook access to the point na hindi mo talaga ma-open. Dahil nga, you've been attacked by multiple packets, and each packet contains a huge amount of size. No? Next is the traffic manager. Traffic manager distributes network across regions. Let's say your user is from Philippines, might as well perform a load balancing in Hong Kong and then Japan kasi malapit sa Philippines yun, di ba? So let's say first request ng user, let's say Netflix customer, first request sa Hong Kong. Now, 50% na utilization Hong Kong. In traffic manager, will route your next user to Japan. No? So hence, they will form some sort of a load balancing. No? Pero magkaiba yung sa traffic manager. Traffic will be distributed across regions worldwide siya. Okay? And then there's thing called the route, express route, which connects Azure over high bandwidth dedicated secure connection. So meron kaming sariling network. I'll give you an example. So let's say ito yung organization ninyo. Tapos nakakonect lang kayo sa internet, di ba? So sabihin natin 100 megabit per sec. Okay? So ito na yung ISP. Tapos yung ISP ko-connect sa Azure. Okay? So saan ang bottleneck? So dito, limited ka lang sa 100 megabit. So with Azure Express route, ISP will be eliminated. Direct Azure connectivity. Hence, you can achieve 1 gigabit connection. Up to 10 gigabit yata pinakamabilis. Okay? Mas mabilis. So how is it possible, sir? Di ba kailangan ISP? Hindi. So ganito ginagawa. Sa data center, usually Fujitsu, no? Or yung tinatawag ng Ultimo Data Center or yung Telstra Data Center dito sa Sydney. Doon namin nilalagay yung server. Tapos ito yung server within next cage, katabi lang namin yung Microsoft. So mag-hook up ka lang ng fiber or LAN cable, talang copper, LAN cable lang na 1 GB. Ko-connect mo doon sa switch ng Azure. Okay? Yun ang express route. Kaya mabilis siya, pero it's very expensive. Okay? So ito yung server mo, may switch dito, may top of the rack switch, tapos may router, may edge connection. Tapos yung connectivity nyo, hook up mo lang sa katabi mo, less than 10 meters lang using LAN cable, using copper or fiber. No? So direct hook up yan, express route. Napakabilis. No? So connects Azure over high bandwidth, dedicated secure. Dedicated switch talaga ginagamit yan. No? Next is the NetWatcher. So NetWatcher monitors and diagnose network issues. So when you say diagnose, ito yung active, no? Monitors is passive. So hybrid siya. It scans for virus signature and then it logs. Okay? It logs, no? Network issues by using scenario-based analysis. So this is a very intelligent service. No, kasi it's combination of active and passive siya. No? And then meron din firewall, which implements high security, highly available. You can configure this as HA with unlimited scalability, meaning it can provision quickly. No? And then meron din tayong V1, which create unified WAN that connects local and remote. So from your on-prem, you can be able to connect to another on-prem, no, utilizing a virtual WAN. Okay, pwede ding public to public using virtual WAN. So within the worldwide organization or worldwide circle, you can be able to access all your private servers. No? Another server is another service is compute. Azure provides 4 main types of storage. So meron tayong blob, storage service for very large objects such as videos or bitmaps. So saan ginagamit ang blobs examination? This is good for videos, pictures. So hindi pwede database dito, no? Practically, you can't dump database. Meron ding sa storage, file shares that can be accessed and managed like a file server. So dito, ito yung, if you want to set up a file server sa cloud, you're gonna select file storage. So sa file storage, meron ditong NTFS permission, which you can grant or deny users or groups. Okay? So dito, yung mga important files lang, such as Excel, Word documents. No? Ideally, you don't dump videos dito or mga pictures. No? So anong difference ng dalawa? Ito, wala tong security. There's no permission. Anyone can access. Ito naman, para tong file server sa Windows or Linux. You can either grant or deny users. Okay? Meron namang storage type, queue storage tawag nila. A data store for queuing and reliably delivering messages between applications. So if you're sending messages, no, it will spool dito muna. No? It will spool dito before sending to the destination. No? So practically, these are just clear text file. Not videos, not Office file, not Excel, no? Mga .text, .log, and so on. Okay. Azure Table Storage. Table storage is a service that stores non-relational data, also known as NoSQL in the cloud computing. So in short, this is for database. Okay, so these services shall all share several common characteristics. They are durable. No, so what is durability? Durability meaning even if your file get corrupted, there's a chance that it can be restored right away. Kasi yung single file mo, multiple copies. No, triplicate copy kagad sa Azure. No? Secure through automatic encryption and role-based. So meron siyang encryption and scalable, virtually unlimited storage. So yung storage mo can be scaled, let's say in Hong Kong, in Japan, in Taiwan. No, if one storage fail over, it will be moved to another region. Storage can be managed, handling maintenance and critical problems for you. So meron siyang management GUI, no? And can be accessible using web. Okay. Okay, so meron din siyang mobile service, so which can sync yung data offline even if it's off. You can sync data while inside the office. It can do push notification, meaning you can download, no? And can be scaled to match business needs. No? So let's say you need multiple regions. No? Well, actually, lahat naman ng services auto-scaling. Okay, similar to database. Okay. Next service is database. Napakadaming database. No? So bibilisan ko na lang. So meron siyang Cosmos DB, which can be distributed globally. Cosmos DB is a NoSQL. So what is NoSQL? Mamaya discuss ko yan. So meron din tayong SQL, fully indexed. SQL is a relational database, meaning one index key is related to another rows and columns of the database. No? NoSQL is totally different. It's using JSON. Azure Database for MySQL. MySQL is open source. Meron din Microsoft Database, which is this one. So MySQL is similar to this one. Fully managed and scalable. Well, lahat naman scalable yan. So I skip ko na yung word na scalable. Postgres, which is an open source, fully managed, scalable Postgres. It's a relational database with head chain security. Well, lahat yan, head chain security. So no point in repeating. Next one is a SQL Server for AVM. So meron siyang sariling SQL Server, which service the host enterprise SQL Server apps in the cloud. So this database of every settings ng virtual machine will be saved under SQL Server. Okay. Meron ding Synapse Analytics database. It's a fully managed data warehousing with integral security at every level of scale at no extra cost. So napakadaming database na self-explanatory. Siguro mamaya gagawa ko MariaDB. No? MariaDB is also a relational database, also high available and highly secure. Okay? So meron ding, teka, puntahan muna natin yung database dito. So dito yung database niya. So if you click all services, so these are the networking service, napakadami. No? These are the storage. Okay? These are web, mobile, and so on. Napakadami. Let's go to web. So having a great web experience is critical in today's business kasi lahat ngayon web app na, diba? Most of the Facebook users are mobile users, meaning they're either using tablet, iPad, or cell phone. Azure includes first-class support to build and host web apps and HTTP-based web app. The following services are focused on web. So meron ditong tinatawag na app service, which you can quickly create powerful cloud web-based app. So kung gusto niyo gumawa ng application right away, go to app services. Okay, mamaya gagawa ko niya. Then create an app service. Let's say a simple website. Simple website. No? So dito, you need to create your subscription. Okay. Pay as you go. And then you need to create resource group. Mamaya di-discuss ko yan. No? Create a web app name. Now, the website will be, let's say, Nexus Web 1. Okay, so this can be accessed using Nexus Web 1.azurewebsites.net. Straight away, up and running. Okay, and if you program, let's say you develop the program in .NET, you just have to select the .NET version. If your program is was created in Java, let's say created in Java 8, you have to select Java 8. Okay, and so on. No? If your apps was developed in Python 3.8, just select the runtime 3.8. Okay. Now, if your program was developed in .NET, of course, Windows operating system yan. Okay. And then nandito yung Azure App Service Plan, let's say 1.75 gig RAM. O, di ba? Mas makakatipid ka instead of creating your own virtual machines. Diba? So dito, web app kagad. Nagets ba yung point ng web app? You don't need the server. You just use the web service straight away. Then meron naman notification hubs which send push notification to any platform from any backend. Let's say someone's making a reservation. So yung data na yon will be sent using XML. That XML will be pushed to sa web app. No? So ganun yung communication nila. No? Meron ding API management which using SOAP and XML din. So ano ginagawa ng API? API will publish the application program interface to developers, partners, employees securely and at a scale. So meron din namang cognitive service which deploy fully managed service search as a service. So cognitive yung parang si Siri. So pag kinausap niyo phone, hey Siri, what time is it? Sasabihin sa iyo. Or Alexa, no? Let's say Alexa, define Earth. So nakikinig sa Alexa, meron siyang hearing cognitive, naririnig niya. Okay? Web app feature or of Azure App Service, we can create a mission critical web app. And meron din sila Signal IR, add real-time web function easily. So yung Signal IR siguro infrared, no? So meron siyang physical device na Internet of Things na nakalagay dun sa window ninyo na pag na-disrupt yung infrared, let's say may dumaan na magnanakaw, no? So na-disrupt, no, magsisend sa inyo. Magsisend ng, let's say, XML, which will alert the user. Okay. Okay, next is IoT. IoT, napakadaming IoT dito. Napakadaming Internet of Things. Now, if you're gonna go back. So, how do you go there? All services again. Yan. So, analytics, Internet of Things, napakadaming Internet of Things. One is IoT Central. It's a fully managed global IoT software as a service. So you just subscribe to Azure and you can manage your IoT device. Okay. Meron din yung IoT Hub, which is a messaging hub which provides secure communication between monitoring device of millions of IoT devices. Let's say, napakadaming device na in-install mo sa bahay mo, no? You can install Azure IoT Hub and then connect nyo do sa IP address ng device niyo. Then one interface lang. Makikita nyo kung na-turn on na ba yung IoT device na yan. And then merong IoT Edge, which is a fully service which allows data analysis model to be pushed directly onto IoT device, which allows them to react quickly to state changes without needing to consult cloud-based AI models. Okay, next is a big data. So when you say big data, ito yung some sort of, we're talking about large, huge volume of database. Okay, ginagamit sa mga siguro groceries, sa SAP, no? So big data comes in formats and sizes. When we talk about big data, we're referring to a large volume. So data from weather system, no? Data from yung ano ba tawag doon, yung surveillance, no? Communication systems, genomic research, imaging platforms, no, yung mga sa hospital, no. So these are huge data, no? So open source cluster technologies have been developed to deal with these large scale data set. Azure support broad range of big data. Okay, so one example is Synapse Analytics. You can run analytics at a massive scale by using a cloud-based enterprise data warehouse that takes advantage of massively parallel processing to run complex queries. Meron namang HD Insight, which process massive amounts of data, same with Databricks. More collaborative Apache Spark-based analytics. So in short, these are all dashboards analytics. Okay? Which a company or organization will have benefits in analyzing the data. One example is, let's say you went sa SM grocery, no? Let's say, how will I know yung most demand product of the day, di ba? Let's say pumasok kayo. So paano malalaman ng SM ano ba tawag niyo sa grocery? Hindi naman department store, di ba? Sa SM supermarket pala, supermarket. So how will SM management find out ano yung most demand product, di ba? So you need this analytics, no? Then they can come up on a day na during pandemic season, pinakamabenta sa amin is pancit canton, tissues, and canned goods, no? So paano mo malalaman? Paano malaman? Through this analytics. So ito yung uses niya. Okay? So available yung big data na yan sa Azure. Then meron tayong artificial intelligence. AI in the context of cloud computing is based around broad range of services. So ganun yung definition niya, no? Napaka-general talaga. The core of which is machine learning. So one example of AI is machine learning. No? Machine learning is data science. Okay, so parang lumalalim, ano? So what is data science? No? Data science technique which allows computer to use existing data to forecast future behavior. Yun nga. If you're gonna combine the analytics, no, how can you come up with the most saleable item of the day, di ba? So dito kasi sa insight, sa dashboard, you have to look, you have to observe, you have to gather the big data. You have to gather this big data, which is tedious. So that's why they have so many analysts, no? Dito sa AI, he can forecast behavior based on database, no? So read niya yung database, no? Then if you program, let's say, a specific AI feature, let's say, I want to find out the most saleable item of the day, no? So dito sa AI, it will just give you the information without looking sa dashboard, no? So let's sabihin niya, yun nga, pancit canton for the day, no? Canned goods, tissues, right away. So if you have an AI, you can eliminate a lot of analysts from reading, sign up analytics, HHD insight to come up with the biggest product of the day. No? So AI is more advanced. No? So tandaan natin sa examination, ano ginagawa ng AI? So many things. Ito lang tandaan nyo. Forecast future behaviors. Okay? One example of machine learning. So once you program, it can forecast future behavior. So AI has a big role in forecasting or predictions. No? Forecasting from machine learning can make apps and devices smarter. So for example, when you shop online, ML helps recommend other products you might like. Now, so if you're doing online shopping naman, let's say brand 1 is cost $10, no? Then makikita nyo doon sa website niya, mayroong second brand, third brand, fourth brand. So which is cheaper. Okay? So in short, the machine will learn what you're browsing, no? So let's say you type nga yung product 1, then it will look up sa database of other related product which will be suggested to you. Okay? Okay, so machine learning, you might like based on what you purchase or when your credit card is swiped. The moment you check out or you paid something, that will save in a big data, and they'll find out ano yung mga products which is bought on the same day. No? Okay, so ito yung mga ML services. One is Azure MLS, so which is a cloud-based environment you can use to develop, train, you can test, and you can deploy right away, and can be managed and tracked. No? Azure Machine Learning. So you don't need to program. Meron na siyang machine learning. Punta kayo ng haba, no? Kung if you're lost, let's say you can't find out, just type the word dito, machine learning. No? So index, and then ito yung machine learning, then create your machine learning workspace. Pero hindi ako gagawa ng machine learning workspace kasi this is fundamentals. If you want to know how to create machine learning, sa Devops na yan. No? Then meron siyang ML Studio, which is a tool to create application and features for collaborative and visual workspace, okay, which you can build, test, deploy your machine learning solution. Okay. So closely related product in cognitive service is, let's say, vision. No? Ito yung mga eye scanner. So sa data center namin, before you can go inside, may eye scanner. Re-read niya yung retina mo. And before the door can be opened. No? So vision, use image processing algorithm to smartly identify, no, yung points, face points mo, caption and index, and moderate your picture. So one example yun nga sa iPad nyo. No? So meron siyang vision cognitive services. Once na-identify yung mga pain points ng mukha mo, you can be able to log in. Another one is speech. So it will convert yung spoken audio into text. So habang nagsasalita ka, kino-convert into notepad, no? Or sa Word, no? Let's say nagsalita ka, hello, my name is Chris. So lalagay niya yan. No? So meron siyang speech, meron din knowledge mapping, which maps complex info and solve tasks such as intelligent recommendation. Yun nga, let's say most commonly searched product of the day. No? So lalabas doon. So if someone asks, if an analyst asks, ano ba yung, what do we need to order? Kasi ito yung most commonly both product of the day. So what do we need to order sa supplier? Doon ka kukuha, di ba? So that's mapping, knowledge mapping. Then meron siyang Bing search, which is parang Google-like search engine. And meron siyang natural language processing, which allows app to process natural language, human voice. No, like Alexa, when you speak to Alexa, Amazon yun, no? Siri, when you speak to Siri, human voice talaga. Next is Devops. So DevOps brings together people, processes, and technology by automating software delivery to provide continuous value to users. So usually yung ginagawa ng DevOps following the CI/CD, no, continuous integration, meaning yung application nila, they keep on improving and integrate sa current application. Okay? And continuous development. So once the program is proven to be useful, magde-develop pa sila ng maraming application to cater dun sa market nila. No? So Azure DevOps use development collaboration tools such as high-performance pipelines. So meron tong pipelines. I'll discuss to you ano yung pipeline. Sometimes they use yung Git repository. Dito nakalagay yung mga codes, configurable Kanban boards, and extensive automated cloud-based load. No? Then meron silang dev test lab. So whatever programs developed sa DevOps CI/CD pipeline can be launched sa dev test labs. So ano to? Testing platform. Ano naman to? Ito yung development platform. Malinaw ba? Okay, so if you want to create your Azure account, no, so you're gonna create your root account first. Okay, root account. So you need to provide your credit card, debit card. Then you're gonna have free subscription or pay as you go. Oh, pay as you go na. And then you need to create a resource group. Okay, what is a resource group? Resource group is the first group you need to create before provisioning other services. Okay, kung gusto niyo mag-create ng Azure account, picturean niyo na 'to. Kung wala pa kayo, picturean niyo na 'to. So kung niyo yung cellphone niyo, scan the QR code. Scan the QR code. Create an Azure account. So nandito yung video. Paano mag-create? Okay. So it's up to you. No? So what is Azure free account? Free account, 12 months. No? Not really 12 months. Pag nagamit mo na siya. Let's say yung virtual machine, 730 ba yun? A month? 730 hours. So meaning pag naubos mo na siya, tapos na yung subscription. Okay? Credit to spend for first 30 days and meron kang access sa 25 products na free. Okay? So if you're a student or working in a government, meron diyang free access din. Okay, so case study. Ito ginamit niya yung favorite niya, Tailwind Traders. So one example dito yung Tailwind Traders. Okay, so na-discuss ko na itong cloud model comparison. No? Ano naman yung cloud? Balikan natin to cloud benefits. Remember, I have a slide a while ago. Ano tong cloud benefits, di ba? Ano tong HA, fault tolerant, and so on. So I'm gonna slide back to our book. So pag sinabing HA, depending on SLA, no, your cloud base can provide continuous user experience with no apparent downtime. Meaning, up and running 24/7 kahit masira isang region. No? It will just do failover. So ito yung keyword. Pag sinabing HA, failover. Lilipat lang yung server. Let's say namatay yung double data center in Taiwan, you can fail over to data center in Hong Kong. Okay. Next, scalability. So Apps in the cloud can scale vertically and horizontally. Sa dalawa yan, no? Vertical and horizontal. Scale vertical to increase compute capacity by adding RAM. So pag sinabing vertical, yung hardware mo, 4 core, can be upgraded to 8 core. Yung RAM mo from 8 GB RAM can be upgraded to 16 GB RAM. Okay? Vertical. Ang horizontal naman, number of servers. Okay? Number of instances. Dadami siya. Okay? So scale up from 1, magiging 10 kung nga rin. No? Scale in, kukonti siya. Okay? From 10 servers, babawasan siya. No? Next is elasticity. You can configure cloud-based app to take advantage of auto scaling, no, which can scale up or down. So you always have the resources they need. No? So elastic, meaning it can provision right away. What's the difference between the two? Scalability, the dami, number of instances. Elastic, you can provision right away. Okay? Next, agility. Agility naman, deploy and configure cloud-based quickly. How quickly can you deploy? Okay? How quickly, how fast can you deploy server? Mamaya, I'm gonna create a VM which will take 5 minutes lang or less. Meron naman GU distribution which can deploy apps and data to regional data center around the globe, thereby ensuring customer always have the best performance. Let's say Netflix customer and you're coming from Philippines, so saan mo i-deploy? To the nearest data center sa Philippines, which is Hong Kong. Diba? So in geo distribution. Meron man DR, by taking advantage of cloud-based apps, backup services, you can backup through cloud mismo. So you don't need a huge amount of space. Sa cloud ka na pwede mag-backup. Okay? And restore right away. Okay? Sa marketplace, napakadaming DR available. If you're gonna go marketplace, so paano pumunta sa marketplace? So punta ka dito sa home, and then if you know, kita niyo na, marketplace. So you just need to browse the best product. Let's say gusto ko ng firewall. I don't need to purchase firewall, no? So meron kaming firewall na available na or ayun, Barracuda. So meron kami physical Barracuda, no? It's a firewall which is easy to manage kasi napakadaling i-manage nito. If you want to filter layer 7, yung mga webs, mga URL, you can do so. Layer 7 application firewall. You just purchase this one per plan, then pay X amount of money. So napakadali mag-provision dito. Hanap tayo ng disaster recovery. Disaster, meron ba dito? Ayun, meron. Disaster recovery as a service. So it's available na. Ayan na. So it's available. Okay? Sa amin, disaster recovery namin, we have a VMware site recovery management tool, which is SRM. It's not a vSphere product, SRM, wherein the whole data center can be failover to another data center quickly in a snap. So meron dong playbook, run lang yung playbook automatically. It will tell you network group has been moved, a virtual machine has been moved, data store has been moved, SQL database has been moved successfully, and then you fail over. So everything can be accessed on the fly within an hour. No, bilis. So napakadaming disaster recovery apps. No? Ready-made na siya. You don't have to create your own DR. Ready-made na siya. No? Okay, na-explain ko na to. CAPEX, OPEX, diba? Na-explain ko na yan. Tandaan nyo, sa examination, cloud computing is a consumption-based model, meaning no capital expenditure, no CAPEX. OPEX, operation expense kagad. Okay? And you only pay for what you need. So inulit ko lang yung discussion ko. So dito tayo dito na tayo sa slide. Balikan natin yung slides natin. So napakahabang explanation nun, ano? Okay, so next is Infra as a service. So what is Infra as a service? Ano ba tanggalin? Tanggalin ko nga. So Infra as a service, build pay as you go, IT infra by renting servers. So you're just renting. You're renting virtual machine, storage, network, operating system, all the services. So kanina, I've discussed all the server and storage available sa Azure, okay? And also in network and data center. No? So infra as a service. So when you say infra, is the physical infrastructure will be provided to you. All you need to do is pay the rent. Re-rent ka lang ng data center, re-rent ka lang ng mga firewalls nila and servers and storage. You don't need to purchase. Okay? Ang platform naman is totally different. It will provide for building, testing, deploying software. Okay? Wala nang hardware involved dito. You can just straight away build nyo kagad yung software nyo without focusing on management underlying infra. So sir, paano kung may hardware failures? Hindi mo na problema yon dahil sa PaaS, kasama na yung IaaS na pag may server, let's say faulty motherboard, replacement, no? You don't have to think about that, no? So hindi mo na kailangan isipin yung provisioning of server, provisioning of firewall rules, or renting the data center. So hindi mo na problem yun. The stuff will be given to you is the operating system. So bibigyan ka ng Windows and development tools such as .NET, no? or PHP, runtime program. Then dump mo lang yung program mo doon, no? Then develop mo yung application. You can have your application up and running. Okay? Platform. You're renting the platform such as, maraming platform, hindi lang Windows, Linux. Napakadaming platform. So if you're gonna go sa marketplace, ito nga yung mga platform nila. Let's say platform for web server. Web server. Yan. So if you want to host WordPress, you can select WordPress. If you want to use Nginx, no, it's installed in 2016. No, so if you want to host Joomla, you can do so using this platform. Then. So select nyo lang SAMP nyo, Apache, MySQL, and so on. No? Excuse me. Yeah. And create your platform. Okay, so ganun lang kabilis. Sorry. Next is software as a service. So users connect to and use cloud-based apps over the internet. For example, Office, okay? Portal. So dito, you're using the software right away. So if I type Portal, Office, this is software as a service. Software kagad yung ginagamit niya. Portal.office. So as you can see, I can be able to access my emails using the software Outlook. I can be able to access all my drives. No, save sa OneDrive. I can join the meeting using Teams meeting. No, I can be able to use Skype as well. No, so I'm renting the software as yung SaaS, software as a service, using that portal. No, so in short, the application is hosted to the cloud provider. So you don't need to develop any application. You just use it like Google Drive. So let's compare all the three. So what's the difference between IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, Mark Jefferson? So what is infra as a service, Mark Jefferson? So later on, we can have a quiz just to test your knowledge. So infra is the physical infrastructure like hardware. Platform is renting the platform management such as Windows, Linux, the built-in platform available in Marketplace. No? And software is a software wherein you do subscription, no? Such as Office 365. Okay, so the next one is the shared responsibility model. So when you see blue-green, you're the one responsible for this. For blue, Azure or Microsoft responsible for it. Okay, so software as a service, you only need to provide data, no? So, such as Excel, no? Ano yung lalagay mo sa Excel spreadsheet. Sa PaaS naman, may application ka na, bibigyan ka na ng applications, no? Such as yung mga yung runtime .NET application, then you need to provide yung .NET program, yung application na dinevelop sa .NET. Okay? Then run your program from there. Infra naman, sa kanila lang yung hardware. You need to create your own server. No? Install the operating system, install the .NET, the Java, Python, install your own application. Kung kailangan yung SQL, kayo mag-install nun, plus you manage the database. Okay? Serverless computing. So when you say serverless, not necessarily means walang server. Pag sinabi serverless, konti lang yung server. Okay? So serverless computing application, the cloud service provider, auto provision, auto scale, auto manage the infra. Meaning sa kanila yung server. Okay? Azure Function and Logic Apps. So Azure Function is code running your service. So meaning, let's say you have a service, web reservation system. So yung program na yon, lalagay mo lang dun sa repository nila, no? Tapos mamili ka ng function such as count the number of visitor for the day. Okay, then sasabihin sa'yo how many visitor you have. Okay? So you don't need to develop those function. Meron din yung Logic App. Logic App is a cloud service that helps you automate, orchestrate tasks, business process, and workflow when you need to integrate apps. No, let's say you dump your program. Tapos the next thing you need to do, syempre, you need to save sa repository. Tapos test, diba? Sa test dev before deploying. So that whole process can be automated using Logic Apps. Okay, that's module 1. So module 1 review, Microsoft offers public, private, and hybrid. So you can build your web-based needs. And has HA, it is agile, which you can quickly provision, and elastic. No? And you only pay for what you use. And then meron siyang tatlong service, no? IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, and serverless, no? Apat. Okay, so yan ang ating lesson for module 1. Now, I'm gonna go back. All the description I've mentioned is in the book. Okay? So, how will I test? How will I know if we learn? So, ito na, meron akong question. Magtatanong na ako. Okay, magtatanong ako from our student. Okay? So, first question goes to Tenny Tang. Tenny Tang. So, which of the following statement is not true about cloud computing? Tenny Tang, please. Sorry, di ko marinig. Inaudible.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay na.
Okay na, sir.
Yeah. Which of the following statements is not true about cloud computing? All cloud computing resources are usually limited to specific geographic regions.
Well, actually, correct. Tama yan. No? So when I take an exam, I do a process of elimination. No? I eliminate the vague answers. So ito, paano naging mali ito? Vague to eh. I ask pa as example of cloud computing service. First of all, hindi siya service. No? Hindi siya service. Ito mali din to. Our common cloud computing service model in respect of infra as a service, as a software. It's not a software. It's a model. Okay, so tama to. All cloud computing resources are usually limited to a specific geographic region. Not product are available sa region ninyo. No? So I'll show you. Kaya saan yung portal ko? I'll show you sa portal natin. Portal.azure. Per region siya. Portal, not portal. Portal. Okay, so let's say if I create a virtual machine, so I created 2 virtual machine na dito. No? So anong region to? Saan nakalagay ito? Tong machine ko. Since I live in Australia, I've selected in Australian region. Kaya makikita nyo dito, my Australia East. Okay, eastern part, which is Sydney. Okay, eastern part. So how will I know which region I am? So you just have to go. Let's say from if you want to create a virtual machine for the first time, go to virtual machine. Okay, and then new, create Azure virtual machine. Okay? And then it will ask me. Ayan, yan. Tinatanong sa akin. No? So, first resource group, training demo, virtual machine test 1. Okay, so he's asking me. So, anong region gusto mo? Anong region? Since I'm in Australia, I would select Asia Pacific, Australia, East. Saan yung Australia East? Ayan, East. Hindi. Australia, ayan, Australia East. Because I know Australia East is in Sydney. And if you're in Philippines, might as well select Asia Pacific kasi Asia Pac kayo, di ba? Philippines, which one is the nearest? Di ba? Yun ang tanong doon. Is it Japan? Is it Korea? No? Alam ko Hong Kong eh. So Hong Kong, East Asia. East Asia. Okay? Hong Kong is the nearest one. So diyan kayo mag-create. Okay, so not all services available dito. Okay? So that's good. This is the right answer. No? Next one. So this is the examination, multiple choice talaga siya. No? Walang lab. You need to purchase an Azure account before you can use Azure resources. Do you need to purchase? Anybody? Everyone. Kailangan bumili? Hindi.
I think no need to.
So,
Oo, tama, false. Kasi it's free. No? May free 30 days. Sorry, 12 months. No? Pero 730 hours, which means 30 days lang talaga yung virtual machine. So multiple choice, true or false. In IaaS, the cloud tenant is responsible for routine hardware maintenance. Is it true or false? Siya ba may responsibility? Mark, Khaled? Or Gerard, Cayetana? Gerard.
false.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah. Actually, tama yung sagot mo, false, no? You're not responsible for the hardware. Yun nga, that's why you're purchasing a cloud eh. Kasi ayaw mo magana eh. You don't want to have to build a team of technicians. Diba? Ayaw mo na mag-manage ng server. Cloud mo na agad. Okay. Next one is, the answer is false. Ano? Next one is, which of the following choices isn't a cloud computing category? Category. Okay, so may so kind of confusing, di ba? Kasi yung diniscuss natin PaaS, IaaS. So NaaS, na wala namang NaaS. They don't offer networking service alone. You subscribe to VPN, which is a networking as a service, pero you don't subscribe to NaaS alone. Kaya mo gustong mag-network kasi gusto mo ma-connect sa virtual machine, which is in the first place is a infra as a service. Na? Okay, next is which of the following option isn't type of cloud computing? Jerome.
Distributed cloud.
Yun, kasi type eh. Okay, type eh. So it's not type of computing, but it's highly scalable model in distributed. So, kaya malilito So I process of elimination, eliminate the vague, diba? Hindi naman natin diniscuss eh. So medyo vague. So ito yung answer, diba? Yan ang answer. Next is which of the following choices isn't the benefit of using cloud service? So benefit of cloud service. Remember sa PowerPoint. Romina. So pag duda kayo, yung answer nandito. So nasa baba lang na. Tama yung mga sagot natin. Distributed. Distributed isn't a type of cloud computing. Then tama yung sagot natin kanina. Tama yung sagot niya dito. Tama na. So, galing. So, last one. Which of the following choices isn't benefit of using cloud services? Yun nga. Yan, na-confirm yung answer natin. Geographic. So, may explanation dito. Okay. Multiple choice, bakit Azure subscription? Which of the following is a logical unit of Azure service that things like an Azure account? Azure account, when you create an Azure account, you need a subscription. So subscription is a logical unit. Okay. Which of the following statements is true with OPEX you are responsible for the computing resources that you use. OpEx, no? With OpEx, you are responsible for purchasing, maintaining your no, you don't maintain computing resource. Okay. That's IaaS managed by Azure. CapEx, walang CapEx cloud. You're not responsible for the hardware. Okay. So tama to. OpEx straight away. Okay, sa examination, OpEx kagad. Ano ba? Wala na, tapos na. Tapos na yung module 1. So, do you have any question before we proceed to module 2? Wala? Okay, so we're gonna have a short break, 10-minute break. So, sa break na to, mag-e-exit ako. I-stop ko yung